Hi, I'm Paul Deese. Welcome to my railroad. This is the Southern Pacific Railroad Santa Margarita Subdivision. I model the Southern Pacific from San Luis Obispo to San Miguel, California, as it was in 1949. And I try to do a good representation of the areas that you see today as you drive through our county. Whether it be what you can see on Cuesta Grade as you go over Highway 101 or as you go through the different towns. Well, this is the San Luis Obispo yard, as it was in 49. I've had to shorten it by about 2/3, but all the tracks is there and all the turnouts are there. It was a really busy place. They ran about 27 trains a day in 1949 through the San Luis yard, or originated in the San Luis yard. It was also a crew change point for trains coming either from Railroad East or Railroad West. So it was busy, and when we're doing operating sessions, it's really busy. Well, this is my representation of the Stenner Creek Bridge. It's less than half the length it would be to scale, and some of the details are slightly different, but it really gives a good feel for the bridge that's currently there. The bridge that's there now has been modified twice over the years as they increased the tonnage. So I tried to backdate the materials to look like it would have back in 1949. So this area represents the Chorro siding, which is up part of the way up Cuesta Grade. The reason it's important, the reason I modeled it, is twofold. One, you can see it from some places in San Luis, and if both daylight trains were on time on the schedule, which they usually were, that's where they met, was at Chorro siding. So it's also a good place when we're operating the layout for the dispatcher to deal with traffic going over Cuesta Grade. This is a convenient place they can have two opposing trains meet. This area represents Thiel. Thiel back in the late 40s and early 50s on the Southern Pacific was a work camp. They had crews that in between trains would go inside the tunnels, blast away at the ceilings, dropping them into gondolas, then pull those gondolas out of the tunnel, transfer the rock to another gondola which would push out over the edge of the cliff and dump the rock. This scene is the Cuesta siding. Very well known to local people because as they come over Highway 101, coming from San Luis Obispo, having just gone over Cuesta Grade, they see these two tracks off to the right-hand side as they go over the bridge. Well, this is backdated again to 1949. This is what is now the Highway 101 bridge, which is now twice as wide, and the Cuesta siding scene. Before they completed the tunnels to get up over Cuesta Grade, Cuesta siding was actually where the passenger trains ended their run and transferred people to stagecoaches. This has been another fun scene to model, and was fortunate that I found pictures of when they were building that bridge, so I could get a fairly accurate representation of the scene. This is the east end of Santa Margarita. Santa Margarita was another really busy place on the railroad. All the trains that came over Cuesta Grade, pretty much all of them needed a helper to get over the grade. Santa Margarita is where they would take the helpers off the train and turn them and either send them back with another train heading back to San Luis Obispo, or if they had too many, they would send them back light over the hill. Santa Margarita was also busy as a local place for lumber, moved a lot of stock back in the day, and a lot of grain. So this is modeling will be the rest of the town of Santa Margarita. Just completed building the passenger station for Margarita and a building under construction. It's been kind of fun. I still have a number more buildings to build, and I'm starting to lay the town out. But this will be the next scene that I complete on the railroad. It's going to be a while, but it's a fun piece in progress. This scene is what will be Paso Robles. Right now, most of the buildings are stand-ins for what I eventually have to build. The track work is all there. Paso Robles also was a very busy place back in 1949. They brought a lot of stock, came both into Paso Robles for Brian's beef where it was processed, and they also shipped a lot of stock from North County out through Paso Robles. It also had two big almond warehouses that saw a lot of traffic by rail, and an SP milling warehouse, and a lumber yard, and an oil dealer. So it had a lot of traffic. When we do an operating session, I have one train that works just Paso Robles and San Miguel, and that can take from 3 to 5 hours to work just that job because there's so much that you have to work in that town.
Wow.